I really like kale. However, the kale here is depressing. It's really short, and I usually get it from the base because that's where I usually get the best looking kale. However, a lot of times their kale looks horrible. So I wind up getting kale from Trader Joe's, which comes in a bag that looks like this. And this is the one from Amazon Fresh. 365 is actually a Whole Foods brand. I'm sure you know that. But look at that. You can see all of the stalks in there. And I've already done one bag, right? However, look at all of what I got out of there. So that's probably 6 ounces of stalks. Okay. So that's what I have to contend with when I buy the one that is pre-cut and supposedly pre-washed. I wash mine several times before I even dump it out the bag. Uh, but this is the beginning of the kale. I've already put a little bit of seasoning. You guessed it, dash onion at the bottom. I use it in everything, literally. And the garlic, right? And a little bit of hot pepper. And eventually I will add some oil to it, olive oil, and balsamic vinegar. And sometimes I add Szechuan to it. Sometimes teriyaki to it. Sometimes soshin to it. It all depends on what flavor I want. And last week I made some for Ray, and I actually use mango juice. I don't put any water in kale. It makes so much water. I don't like soupy greens, and I know a lot of Southern people they like soupy greens, and that's not awesome. I don't want soup. Okay, so this is the beginning. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, okay, so that's the second bag, and the problem is all of this stalks, and I don't just throw away stalks if the leaves are yellow, if they don't look right, if they are messed up looking, I throw them away. I'd rather throw away more stuff and try to save it because I'm upset that I didn't get a lot of kale. So out of two bags, that's all I got. And the difference between the kale here and there is I believe that it grows better on the East Coast because the kale here is really short and they make these little tiny bunches. Whereas I could get two or three bunches back east and it would fit in a shopping bag. Whereas here, I could get probably 10 or more bunches and it still wouldn't fill up a shopping bag. So it's a big difference, but I really like kale, so I suffer it anyway. So I just put some balsamic vinegar in there, and I think this time I'm going to add a little bit of Szechuan. So give it some kick. Here we go. So I just put on the Beyond Meat spicy Italian sausages. I normally chop them up and make them in like half-inch slices, and I usually use 2 packs. If I've got 2 packages of kale, I would use 2 packs of sausages. However, um, I only have 1 pack, so I'm going to leave them whole, and I'll put them on top of the kale. And watch your fire. Now, with a gas burner, you would know if you lit the fire. But with this electric, I turned the knob and I kept coming back looking at it and I didn't see any steam in the pot. That's because I had the back burner on, not the front burner on. So watch your medium. Okay. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to look. If you look down in there, you'll see that it is pretty dry. There's not much moisture there. And I put the hoisin sauce in with these. See if I can grab this bottle. So, hoisin sauce, give it that nice charred look. It'll be a little bit crunchy. so that when I put it on top of the kale, even though the kale moisture will come up on it, it will still stay crunchy on the outside and moist and juicy on the inside. And I'm ready to put the third pack of kale in there. I will put it towards the bottom. I scoop this up and kind of stick it under there a little bit and let it steam as well. So the kale is done. You can see it here. And the sausages are done. And they look burnt. They are not burnt. That is the hoisin sauce. When you cook certain sauces and you let it kind of fry into whatever, it gets really brown, and I just left it in there until it got crispy. The juices that come from the sausage is kind of a sticky substance, whatever the ingredients is that is in the sausage. It is like a sticky substance. So that plus the hoisin is what made these this crust-like thing here. So that is going to make it crunchy, and the flavor is all in that there. So that's the good part. To give you a sense, that's the juice that's left from the kale. Not a whole lot, right? And I've transported the kale in the container that I'm going to save it in. Now I'm going to add the sausages and let it cool off and then refrigerate. So that is the kale and sausage. It's ready. Well, ready to cool off and put in the fridge. A lot of times I cook and I don't eat what I cook because I'm tasting and testing and I actually lose my appetite. And I know a lot of cooks will tell you the same exact thing. You know, the flavors and the smell and the testing and the tasting, we kind of lose our appetite. So it'll be here for tomorrow. Yeah. Okay.